Men who dated influencers, what was it like? And did you know them before y'all went out? Those of you who dated, or even went out with influencers or content creators, did you know of their social media presence before you went out? What was it like? Were they different from what they appeared to be on their social media handles like TikTok or Instagram? How long did it last? 2 meters IG followers. We dated for 3 months. She had a room in her house that was there for the photos. And the rest of the house it was your normal home. Nothing extreme, etc. She was working 1 day a week. She was taking all the photos for the week that day. And the rest of the week just chilling and uploading. She was fit, but she is showing everything in her profile. Her content is mostly makeup, hair, face, body products and lotions. We traveled a bit. And again she took 2 days to take all her photos and the rest of the vacation it was for us. She wasn't a gold digger. She was making enough to feed a couple of families. The sex was hot because she was hot. She lived on her phone though, so there was essentially no relationship. We were just going through the motions for the camera. Every once in a while she would cuddle up to me when she needed that partner comfort, but for all intents and purposes it was like living with a cat. You don't exist until they need something from you. And you never get their attention unless they come to you. TLDR 410 empty relationship. Sex was hot though. I was together with a micro-influencer 10-20k followers for around 2-3 years. Very pretty girl with a bubbly and lovely personality. But Jesus Christ, every little thing had to be documented. Just taking a walk through a public botanical garden, she was constantly taking photos and we absolutely had to stop and spend 20 minutes propping up her phone to take a self-timer photo of us. Which in itself is a nice thought, but when it's like that every time you're out and about it gets extremely tiring. More than 2 million followers. Dated for a year. I became the guy the first hated seeing, taking 1,000 pictures from every different angle. Not one photo posted with me in it. She maybe caught my hand in there once. Food has to be perfect and photographed. Like all the others said. Glued to the phone. Constantly disengaged. She ruined dating for me. To the point where if I'm out in a dinner date with a girl and she's stuck on her phone, I'll just call it a night. I am assuming you mean the Instagram models. Because there are many different type of influencers. I dated a woman with 300k followers, but she was one of the fashion haul makeup tutorial vloggers. Nothing out of the ordinary happened in our relationship outside of her constantly being online. FedEx, UPS delivering stuff daily. And changing outfits 8 times a day. Tried dating someone who wanted to be an influencer. Had a couple of thousand followers and thought she'd made it. Everything was about aesthetics. Wouldn't do anything that wasn't Instagrammable. Spend her life doing things for Instagram and counting likes. Went on a few trips and didn't have any fun because she just wanted to find landmarks to take pictures with. Did not go well. Replaced me with a fan 2,000 miles away that had rich parents. At her mom's recommendation. She'd only been doing it a few months when it all crumbled. I wouldn't even date somebody who's strongly considered doing it now. Seems to me that's a huge red flag. You're obsessed with attention from strangers. Annoying. She discussed personal things publicly and wouldn't get off the damn phone. Lol. My wife's friend, who she has known since childhood, has over 300k followers on Insta and over 250k subscribers on YouTube. She does makeup tutorials in Spanish. She is super down to earth. Her husband is too. When we go out, she is her. She doesn't bring her work with her. And the only thing worse than dating an influencer is dating someone that wants to be one. I'm in a 3-year relationship with a YT content creator, 50k subs. Edit: the girlfriend wants me to correct, it's 60k now. IDK man, it's pretty normal, except once a week I need to mind the noise for an hour or two because she's recording. Oh, and she streams 2-3 times a week. But if we have something planned, it can easily be cancelled. I guess her attitude with it is much more laid back than what I hear from the Instagram influencers of the same size. My wife has become one. She loves it. Honestly, it is kind of annoying as I am her de facto photographer. I am proud of her though. She is accomplishing things that seem to make her happy. Went on one date, she kept telling me how pretty she is and how I'm lucky to be even going out with her. I made her buy me dinner and drop me home, then I just never asked her out again. Briefly dated someone who wanted to be one. She was pretty vain and self-centered, as one might imagine. I dated a girl with 250k Insta followers and an of. She and I were both in open relationships. So it was mostly light dating hookups. I really enjoyed it and spent a lot of time feeling like I couldn't believe my good luck. Both our relationships blew up at the same time, as open relationships tend to. I decided to go back to monogamy. So while the influencer was awesome, I basically decided she was too wild for me. It was a good experience though. Took her out for her birthday cake. I take a few pics of her and the cake, birthday cake. Afterwards she asks for the pics. Next day or ends up on her SM with some quote. As if she eating alone. Another example, go on a trip. She disappears at times or asks me to get a drink for us or something. I return and find her posing and a stranger she had asked to take her pics is the photographer. I'm like angry. Pics from the trip on SM are of her only. Like she traveled solo. Dated a 25k-ish Instagram model influencer. I was her photographer for a lot of the photos and things were pretty breezy for a while. Then the offers for business started coming in and it got hectic. Eventually things started getting so hectic that she felt I was holding her back from making it big. And she dumped me. Currently dating a girl 50k followers. Have known her since we were 14. Pretty normal relationship. Definitely spends a lot of time making videos, but she's also a journalist, so I am used to her spending a lot of time on the computer or phone. Good perks. Get to go to cool events. Lots of free holidays. She's great. I went out with someone who has like 300k followers on TikTok a few times. She was nice enough. Insanely attractive. But my God, she filmed every single thing in her life. Couldn't get a cocktail without a photo session. It was hard to get to know who she actually was as a person. Just not for me. Didn't exactly date one, but rather matched with two of them on separate occasions. First one was hella compliment hungry. Always requiring my admiration with any comment. A modern day gram princess. Second one told me right before our first date that she's an influencer. Brings her camera everywhere. Needed me to be part of her reels and I had to be cool with it. Noped out of both them pretty quick. Too naturally introverted for that shit. This sounds like a stupid idea to me personally. Especially if they tend to broadcast details about their personal life. Just the word influencer makes my skin crawl, face vomiting. It's how I met her. Was drunk one night and slid up in her DMs 2 days later. She's deep in love. Between the filters and makeup and the angles, she was a different person IRL. She was still attractive but nowhere near the same. Personality-wise, she was the same person on and off social media. Lasted about a year before I got sober enough to realize she was definitely not the one. It was new and fun at first, but having a bunch of thirsty dudes wanting me dead was tiring.